Willkommen zurück zur Chicken Police. Ich bin dabei, zu einem Club zu gehen. Zu einem Bordellclub. Mal schauen, wie es dort wird. Ich hoffe, die haben da alle Klamotten an. Das ist das Einzigste, vor was ich mich gerade fürchte. Aber ich will wissen, was jetzt mit Natasha los ist. Zweites Chapter.
To Marty's delight, we were heading toward the most exclusive brothel in Clawville. The separatists and those opposing the monarchy hated the place, just like they hated everything that supported interracial relations and peaceful coexistence of all species. So the place wasn't just a brothel, it was a symbol. But just like a brothel is not a worthy symbol, Clawville failed to turn out the way it was intended.
Well, here we are. The kingdom of long legs, silky
Ich sehe da schon
skin
ein
and fluttering
Lemur
lashes.
und ein
We've
Adler.
arrived.
Ja, und du
Calm
freust
down,
dich
Marty.
wahrscheinlich
Watch
am
your blood
meisten.
pressure.
Oh.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Would you be so kind as to help me?
Bei was?
With pleasure, ma'am.
Marty,
The
nein.
zipper always comes down on my dress. Would you kindly zip it back up?
Can I, Sonny?
Oh mein
What
Gott.
am I, your mother? Do what you want, for God's sake.
Marty.
Happy to help, ma'am.
Oh, what a gallant young man.
Clucking lords.
Sonny, wir können dagegen nichts tun. Er ist noch jung. Ach, muss ich das machen? Warum muss ich das machen? Warum muss ich das machen? Warum muss ich das machen? Okay. Ich muss aufpassen, dass ich nicht zu langsam und zu schnell mache.
Oh, thank you, honey.
Ich hätte mal voll hochziehen müssen.
Marty,
Ich
ma'am.
glaube, das wäre so
Marty
lustig.
McChicken.
Thank you, darling Marty. I'm much obliged.
Wow, Marty, wenn ich nicht wüsste... Aber er hat doch eine Freundin, oder? Marty hat eine Freundin. Wenn ich nicht wüsste, dass du eine Freundin hast, würde ich sagen, nehmt euch ein Zimmer. Aber nein, nimm dir kein Zimmer.
Anytime, ma'am. Anytime.
Der Typ. Oh mein Gott. Oh. Das Bild? Oh. Gott.
That woman, she's familiar.
Do you think it's her? The broad from the Bloody New Year's?
God damn it, Marty, do you have to say it out loud? It gives me goosebumps.
Chicken bumps, more like.
Anyway, I don't know if it's really her. I always get confused by the exotic ones, but yeah, maybe.
Honestly, it gives me the creeps.
Yeah, me too.
Weg hier. Oh mein Gott, was sind das für Bilder?
These brides are elegant. Just like Laszlo said.
Lewis.
What do you think could be the old rabbit's type? Fluffy tails? Furry ears? A raspy tongue?
Flashy Ears, maybe? Keine Ahnung.
Oh, for the love of all the gods, stop it.
Sunny ist verstört. Morty, hör auf damit.
But just think about
Marty
it.
heißt er. Wie komme ich immer auf Morty? Marty, hör auf damit.
Please shut up, Marty.
She's what I call an exotic beauty.
Well, that's one way to put it.
Hey, every animal's the most beautiful thing in the world to someone.
Yeah, you're right.
Oof, I don't know about you, but I go weak in the knees for stripes.
Marty.
Please, Marty, I don't want to know. And I don't care. Keep it to yourself. And let's get out of here quickly.
Sunny mag es überhaupt nicht hier und Marty wird hier wahrscheinlich
Can't I even
einziehen wollen.
talk to you anymore?
You can. Ask about the weather, or how's my lower back. Those two are even connected if you want to know.
Yeah, old fart.
Oh Gott. Dann noch mehr Bilder.
I don't even know. Good gods!
Hey, keep it down, Marty.
I see it now. Of all that's furry.
Yes, it's very furry. Or more like, shaggy.
Das ist doch ein Rücken, oder? Hä? Keine Ahnung, ich erkenn's nicht.
I think she must be the receptionist.
Schaut sehr danach aus.
Bravo, Mr. Detective.
Why'd you have to be like that all the time?
Well, sometimes I seriously can't decide if you've become totally stupid over the years, or it just entertains you to act that way.
Well, you know, that's a good question.
That's exactly what I mean.
Okay,
My
fragen
name
wir sie mal.
is Day-Night Diamond. Welcome to the sweltering Nile, gentlemen.
Zebra, exotisch. Und die hat sogar hier Streifen.
Miss Diamond, I'm Sonny, and this is my partner, Marty.
If I may, miss, you have a beautiful name and exceptionally wonderful stripes.
Marty, not now.
Er muss mit jedem flirten, wie es ausschaut.
Oh, thank you very much.
Please excuse him. He doesn't visit places like this very often. Me neither, to be honest.
Oh, nothing to worry about, gentlemen.
You're absolutely right.
We're just interested in a certain lady called Deborah.
Deborah. We don't have any employees by that name right now, but if you want, any
Nein,
of our
danke,
girls
nein.
would love to be
Nein,
Deborah
brauchen wir
for
nicht.
a
Wir schauen
night.
uns um.
No. Excuse me, you misunderstand. She doesn't work here.
I'm afraid I don't follow.
It's
Ja,
kind of confusing, but let me try to explain.
Please, I'm at your service. I'll gladly answer any of your questions.
You hear that, Sonny? Any questions?
Shut up, Marty.
oh mein Gott. Ich will das hinten gar nicht anschauen, ich bin ehrlich. Ich werde auch die anderen Bilder, glaube ich, blurren. Sieht denn für mich auch zu nackt. Okay, das checke ich nicht. Das schaut eher aus, als würde jemand den Rücken von jemandem nehmen und dann sieht man Beine verkreuzt. Aber das da links war etwas nackt und das da drüben schaut sehr nackt aus. Polizeimarke.
I wouldn't want to offend you, far from it, but it's evident you're from the police, even without this.
Das stimmt, du schaust sehr nach Polizei
Is it
aus.
that obvious?
Ja,
No, it isn't, but, you know, here in the Nile,
Doch,
we
irgendwie
have a
schon.
keen eye for this kind of thing.
Handschuhe, Lederjacke, dicke Jacke, schon irgendwie.
Right. I understand, ma'am.
Am meisten ist es nicht mal eine echte Marke. Die hast du dir aus einem, ich glaube, ein Frühstückflocken-Set geholt.
Do you know a gentleman named Louis C. Hayworth?
Of course I do. Mr. Hayworth is a regular guest
Na
at our
klar.
establishment.
I see. How regular, if I may ask?
Warum willst du das
I can't
wissen?
give you any information about that. House policy.
We have that too. It's called the law, ma'am.
If you have any questions of that nature, please come back with a warrant.
Ja, und sowas kriegen wir auch hundertprozentig nicht.
Touché.
Warum wollen die genau wissen, wie oft hier der Hase hinkommt, um sich mit einem Tier zu vergnügen? Warum?
Does this list mean anything to you?
Nee,
Yes. I'm not sure.
ich denke nicht, dass
No,
diese hohen Tiere
nothing.
dort hingehen,
Don't you see
alle.
some familiar names on there?
I do, but everybody knows those animals. Personally, I have no contact with any of them.
I see. Oh, thank you.
Seltsame Karte?
Look, she gave this to us. The girl named Deborah, the one we asked you about.
I see.
Do you know what this is?
Of course. It's a membership card.
Was this person a regular here?
If this belonged to her, then yes. I can check for you. Please, the ladies will entertain you while you wait.
Nein, danke. Ihnen geht's
Oh,
gut.
Thank you. Much obliged.
Yee. That guy's stare gives me the creeps.
I can see why.
I've always told myself that birds are weird.
Ja, du bist auch ein Vogel.
What did you just say?
Ja.
Huh? What? Me? Nothing?
I apologize for the wait. Please,
Ich wollte gerade gehen.
come with me, gentlemen.
So you were successful.
My mistress, Madame Zaiwass, would like to meet you.
You mean that, Madame Zaiwass?
Oh, das ist ein Krokodilmensch. Cool.
As far as I know, there's only
Oder
one of
Alligator.
us, so yes,
Ich glaube, Krokodile haben breites Maul,
Please,
Alligatoren
miss,
eher dünnes
take
Maul.
us to her.
with pleasure.
Das ist eine Frau.
Madame Zaiwass was a legend in Clawville. Her name was known all over the wilderness. She's an avid royalist, former member of the Council of 12, spy master, assassin, businesswoman, and courtesan. To be honest, I didn't even know she was still alive. She's no spring chicken, that's for sure. She could also be my mother, or maybe my grandmother. First Ibn Wessler, now her. Honestly, tonight it wouldn't surprise me if His Majesty Hector III didn't grace me with his presence.
Cool. Und schaut auch aus wie so eine Mama.
Interesting pieces.
Heilige.
Do you think so? It's the art of my people.
Ah.
Crocodiles?
There are many kinds of crocodile in the wilderness, Mr. Featherland. This is the art of the Nilenites.
Ah, hence the name, the sweltering Nile.
It's a river, Mr. Featherland. My ancestors lived by this river a long time ago.
Ah, interesting.
Thank you.
Cool. Allerlei Bücher. Schau ich sie mir an. Tod
There
eines
are books here
Pferdes.
on quite a variety of topics. There are books here.
Schlüssel zum Denken
There
der
are books.
Tiere. Okay.
There are books here on...
Blinzeln. Ich wette, das wird noch wichtig. Wenn ich mich so ranziehen kann. Nein. Ich werde das Bild nicht
Is
anschauen.
that the time already?
Have you noticed your clock's not working?
How observant you are. That clock isn't meant to show the time, it's a decoration.
Die macht bestimmt
A
so
memento.
einen Geheimgang auf oder so.
It's beautiful.
Ich bin voll auf
Indeed.
Detektiv gerade. Ich schaue das Bild nicht von dir da hinten an. Ich bin verstört langsam.
So she is the legendary Madame Zaiwass.
So, hallo.
Let me introduce myself properly, ma'am.
Mr. Santino, I know who you are. And I also know your partner. The legend of the chicken police is always one step ahead of the chicken police.
Thank you. That's flattering.
May I ask what you are looking for exactly?
Ja, nach der
Hier,
Natasha
um
suchen
this
wir.
night.
Die ist verschwunden. Wir finden sie nicht. In ihrem Haus war eine
You know,
Tote.
that's an interesting question. The card we've shown your lovely colleague.
Belongs to an old friend of ours, whom we haven't seen for a long time here.
And the name?
Unfortunately, no, Mr. Santino. That's confidential information. In my line of work, discretion is everything.
Ist das vielleicht die Ratte? Wesker?
Well,
Vielleicht
you know,
er?
in our line of work, the law is above everything.
Die wollen bestimmt wieder einen Durchsuchungsbefehl. Da sagt die eh nein.
Oh, do you think so? I could tell you what your colleagues think is also above everything. But, as I said, discretion.
Look, ma'am, we don't want to impose. We're conducting a private investigation, which started off as harmless, but now it's murder.
That sounds serious.
Sehr
It is
serious.
serious. That's why we'd be grateful for your help.
In that case, I'm at your service. Ask your questions, and I'm going to answer to the best of my
Also
knowledge.
diesmal fragt ihr nicht
As long
nach,
as
wie
you're not
oft
wading
dieser
through
Hase
muddy
hier war.
waters.
Bitte. Das interessiert euch nicht.
Fortunately, I swim very well for a chicken.
I swim well, too.
Ja, und höchstwahrscheinlich noch besser. Dann fragen wir sie mal. Seltsame
As I
Karte.
was saying, it belongs to us. Only our most valuable guests have one of these. And our employees, of course.
The employees, too. Good to know. Can you tell me if this card belonged to a guest or an employee?
No.
I thought
Eiskalt.
so.
Oder die Katze hat hier gearbeitet am Anfang. Das könnte auch sein.
Louis Hayworth is a good friend of mine. It surprises me that he's a regular here.
You wouldn't believe our clientele. You would be shocked.
No doubt. Louis, does he come here
Wir fragen
often?
jetzt schon wieder nach.
Not so often.
Thank you for the vague answer, ma'am.
The mystery
Sunny ist
is
verstört.
thrilling. The thrill is life itself.
That was beautiful, ma'am.
Merkwürdige
Tell me,
Namensliste.
have you ever seen this list?
I have.
Am I right to assume it has something to do with the sweltering Nile?
It does, yes, but I can't tell you more about it.
Sind
No,
das ihre Kunden gewesen?
Discretion is key.
Okay.
absolutely.
Was ist denn komisch? Was hat die Liste hier zu tun? Werden sie hier gesponsert? Oder hat sie noch außerhalb solche Clubs? Keine Ahnung, ich komme jetzt gerade nicht ganz mit.
Do you know Natasha Katsenko personally?
Yes, I do.
Tell me about her.
Warm-hearted, protective, quick-tempered, fierce. Yes, fierce.
Thank you. Very useful.
Also hat sie hier gearbeitet.
This place isn't just our home with the girls. It's a sanctuary.
Sie war jetzt auf Zuflucht. Dann ist sie bestimmt wirklich ein Adel. Und hat dieses Massaker überlebt.
Really? How?
It symbolizes why the city was founded almost 1,000 years ago. Unity, love, freedom.
Interbreeding?
That too, yes. Do you have a problem with that?
Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't. My girlfriend's a predator.
Echt?
Really? I'm glad to hear it.
Was ist seine Freundin? Das würde ich jetzt echt gern wissen. Lol. Ich kann jetzt wieder sowas machen.
Deceit is everything to Zaiwass. She used to be a spy, so I'm gonna take her every word with a grain of salt.
Was stecken hinter der Legende Frau Zaiwass? Wer sind sie wirklich? Täuschung ist alles für Madame Zaiwass. Sie war frühere Spionin. Man muss also alle ihre Aussagen mit Vorsicht genießen.
Who's behind the legend, Miss Zaiwass? Who are you, really?
Just an animal raised to survive, Mr. Featherland. And because I've been taught, I know how to survive. I always was what I had to be.
And you managed to dodge my question. Clever.
Well, you see, this is one of the typical elements of survival. The way of dodging a delicate question and still making the questioner believe he got the answer. But you're too cunning and experienced, aren't you? You're not an easy one to fool.
I'm trying to maintain appearances, ma'am.
You should. Appearances, most of the time, are stronger and more dangerous than the truth.
Sagen Sie, waren Sie wirklich Spion im Auftrag des Königs? Ist heutzutage nicht gefährlich, Royalistin zu sein?
Tell me, were you really the king's spy?
If that's such an open secret, then I haven't been doing my job very well, isn't that right? Yes, I was a spy. But that's such a blunt way of putting it. I always say I used to undertake confidential, generally political assignments of a delicate nature for the king that were in the interests of national security.
Put
Okay.
that way, it sounds rather romantic.
Don't believe the cheap fiction, Mr. Featherland. Espionage is anything but romantic.
I believe you, madam.
If you must know, I only did it because I believed I could protect those that I serve. Weapons have only one use in this world: to keep the peace. Yes, I always thought about myself and my craft that way.
Also, dass Weapon dafür da ist, den Frieden zu wahren, glaube ich jetzt nicht wirklich. Waffen werden benutzt, um zu töten. Mehr nicht.
Thank you for your honesty, ma'am.
War's gut? Jo. Weshalb ist die Identität innerhalb dieser Karte so heikel, Madame Zaiwass? Weshalb entscheiden Sie sich, ein Bordell zu eröffnen? Was ist das Wetterlein Lyle? Ist es wirklich nur ein Luxusbordell? Keine Ahnung. Das erste?
Why is the identity of the card's owner so delicate, Miss Zaiwass?
You know, In my line of work, discretion is above everything. Yes. But of course, I have my own interest, like everybody else.
You mean every secret has its price?
Precisely, Mr. Featherland. But the price is not always measured in money.
Muss ich für dich irgendeinen Auftrag machen?
Information. The most valuable thing for a spy.
I'm not a spy, Mr. Featherland, but in a way, you're right. A secret is such a valuable thing
Was wüsste
that
ich
I
denn?
only exchange one secret for another.
Wenn ich erraten könnte, wem die Karte gehört, würden Sie es mir bestätigen?
If I guess who the card belongs to, will you tell me?
I wouldn't say that's an acceptable price for such a secret as this, but if you guess right, I won't lie to you. Then, I will tell you you were right.
Ich habe nicht mal einen Plan, wem das
Let's
gehört.
see. The answer to my question. Natasha Katsenko.
Well, Mr. Featherland, it seems the gossip about you is right.
Ja, also hat sie hier Schutz
What gave it
gesucht.
away?
Vielleicht gearbeitet auch, aber ich denke, dass sie hier zum Schutz gekommen ist.
It couldn't have been easier. There's a beautiful woman with a mysterious past, trying to keep it a secret, while someone's threatening her with the exact same thing, leaving rather unmistakable messages behind. Plus, we found the card on Deborah, who was her best friend and confidant, so she was either trying to hide it or destroy it forever, so no one could find out the truth.
Indeed, Mr.
Oh, ich
Featherland.
dachte, es wäre schon zu Ende.
So if I'm not mistaken, Natasha used to work for you before she met Ibn Wessler. He fell in love with her, gave her a job at the Millions Club. The rest is history.
You have talent, Mr. Featherland. I'm really sorry you're not working for the government.
Ja, er will nicht. Er will in Rente gehen.
I am working for the government. I'm a cop.
Are you sure, Mr. Featherland?
Touché.
Ja, nicht
Indeed.
wirklich gerade ist er Polizist.
Natasha used to work here. We can put it that way, but you know, this isn't just a workplace. She also lived here. She was part of our family, and we still love her very much.
Right. That puts everything in a different light. Zaiwass is a true survivor, always was. And she's proud of that, even to this day. Maybe I can get her to trust me if I play to the...
Okay, also die Erzählerin hat vieles überstanden. Sie übersteht noch heute alles. Und sie ist mächtig stolz darauf. Vielleicht gewinne ich ihr Vertrauen, wenn ich ihre Seite ihrer Persönlichkeit schmeichle. Versucht nach ihrem Vorbild zu formen? Wieso nahmen sie auf? Erkannten sie vielleicht selbst in Natascha? Sie wollten sie beschützen? Wovor? Sie werden in der ganzen Stadt als gefährlich angesehen. Warum ist das so? Oh, das weiß ich jetzt gerade nicht. Also sie ist sehr von sich überzeugt.
Why did you take her in? Maybe you saw yourself in Natasha.
She was only 17 when she knocked on the rear entrance of the brothel on an unusually cold, rainy night. I opened the door myself.
Was Natasha
17
alone?
Jahre alt.
Yes, completely alone. Her left arm was slashed with an ugly wound, and she was frozen to the bone, barefoot, only a thin nightgown on her.
Did she tell you what happened to her?
After I brought her into the house, warmed her up, and changed her into new clothes, that was the first thing I asked. But no, she didn't tell me. We became very good friends, but I still don't know what happened to her and where she came from. Or how she knew about this place and the rear entrance.
Sie war bei dem Attentat dabei.
And you weren't bothered
Und
by
hat's
all those
überlebt.
secrets?
Aber dabei ist ihre ganze Familie gestorben.
That would have been very hypocritical of me, don't you think? No, it didn't bother me. I make a living out of secrets, Mr. Featherland.
Okay.
I see.
Das war gut. Haben Sie eine Ahnung davon, woher Natascha kam? Vor
Do you
Clawville.
know where Natasha came from? Before Clawville.
Naturally, The poor dear couldn't even deny it. Even her name's eloquent, her accent, but mostly her manners, Mr. Featherland. She's from Stovos, and she belonged to the upper class of Stavonian social circles.
That's all you know about her. An ex-spy like you must have checked up on her new protege's past.
That's the most exciting thing. Yes, I have. Multiple times putting my most treasured connections to good use. But nobody found anything. Natasha's trail could only be traced back to the Stavonian border. What happened in that country, no one knows.
It's rather curious, don't you think?
It is, Mr. Featherland. Yes, curious. That's why I've always been rather fond of Natasha.
Did it touch you deeply when she left you?
Indeed, it did.
Aber man muss seine Freunde, wahrscheinlich war sie für sie auch leicht wie eine eigene Tochter, gehen lassen. Sie hat ihre Liebe gefunden, hat einen neuen Job bekommen, jetzt gehört ihr ein eigener Club, also ich glaube, sie ist auch ziemlich stolz auf Natasha.
Zaiwass is protective. It seems she's dedicating her whole life to her protégés.
Okay, sie hat Beschützerinstinkt drauf. Warum ließen sie mit Wessler gehen? Haben sie noch Kontakt zu ihr? Kam ihnen die nie Giganten der Beziehung zwischen Natascha und ihm auszunutzen? Nein. Ja, Kontakt würde ich sagen.
Have you kept in touch?
Only occasionally, Mr. Featherland. She writes to me every few weeks, and very rarely we talk on the phone. But I haven't heard from her in weeks. The truth is, I've started to worry about her.
Das war wahrscheinlich die Zeit, wo diese Drohnachrichten kamen.
Did she give no sign of being in trouble?
Never. No. Natasha's not the kind to talk about her feelings.
Yeah, I've noticed that myself.
Sie waren wütend, als sie verließ. Befürchten sie, dass Natascha Geheimnisse verraten könnte? Wann haben sie das letzte Mal gesehen? Nee, Beschützer, das würde es nicht machen. Eher das da unten, würde ich sagen. Das obere ist eher, dass sie nicht Beschützerinstinkt hat, sondern ihre Spionage-Ding. Aber jetzt sind wir beim Beschützer.
When was the last time you saw her,
Ich glaube,
Madame
das würde sie
Zaiwass?
sehr beleidigen, würde ich das andere fragen.
Maybe around 2 months ago. There was a ball, attended by Ibn Wessler, his beautiful mate Natasha, and myself. Yes.
Was she herself? Did you feel like she was afraid or worried about something?
On the contrary, she was unrestrained, free, radiant. She was in love. Yes, in her own unique way.
Okay.
What do you mean?
You know Natasha loves on a different level than most Clawville women. Or most women in the wilderness, in fact. Maybe it's because of the Stavonian origins. Perhaps it's something else.
Okay, verstehe ich jetzt nicht.
So you didn't notice anything strange about her?
Well, if anything could be called strange, it was that I saw a woman positively floating above the ground, who previously used to stand on it with 2 feet.
I see. Thank you, madam.
Wie fühlten sie sich, als sie erfuhren, dass Natascha sie verlassen
How
wollte?
did you feel when you learned Natasha was going to leave?
Honestly, I was very hurt. I loved her as a daughter. How would you have felt?
Wie ich gesagt habe.
I couldn't say.
And I still couldn't stop her, and you know why?
Of course I do. Because you loved her.
You've been in my shoes before, am I right, Detective? Yes, I can feel you have.
Ja, seine Tochter ist ja nicht wirklich gegangen. Sie wurde ihm weggenommen. Die Frau ist mit ihr abgehauen.
This isn't about me, madam. Please stop changing the
Oh, was
subject.
ist, wenn die Tochter die Mörderin ist? Aber das wäre dann echt komisch.
I have felt betrayed on a certain level. Yes, and offended, and alone.
Were you disappointed in her?
Only in myself, Mr. Featherland. But I have a hunch you know this feeling very well.
Yes, you're right. Well, Thank you for your time, madam.
Anytime, Detective. Yes, anytime.
War gut, oder? 90% nehme ich. Perfekt. Ist wieder ein wenig erschöpft vielleicht, aber gut, Schuss, gute Arbeit. Natasha arbeitete im Bordell Svellerling Nile, bevor eben Westler sie dort entdeckte und herausholte.
Please, gentlemen, wait here a moment. I would like to show you something that could
Also
help
die ist
you.
nicht die Böse.
Oh, that's
Die
excellent news.
die
Thank
würde
you.
Natasha
We will
niemals
wait.
was tun.
Do you trust her?
Not in the slightest. Even her smile is fake. This woman wallowed in other animals' secrets until she became one too.
That's exactly how I feel.
Anyway, now that we're here, we can take a better look around.
Ich werde nicht
Just
das
what I
Bild
was
anschauen.
thinking.
Boah, ja, die Uhr ist sass. Oh, eine Zeit. Okay. Aber
These books are here.
die Bücher und die Uhr ist die Antwort. Oh, ich muss... Also ich habe euren Blinzeln nicht. Schlunter auch. Warte mal. 7 Splitter meiner Seele. Tod eines Pferdes. 49 Reptilien. 7,49? Nee. Hier ist sonst nichts. Aber er sagt mir, diese Bücher haben Grund hier zu sein.
These books are here for a reason.
Aber was
I mean,
sagt denn überhaupt von ihr aus? Madame Zaiwass, Krokodil. Geschlecht weiblich. Ihr Lächeln ist falsch, die Geschichte falsch, aber die Gefahr ist echt. Madame Zaiwass war Spionin, Kulturisten schon eine Legende, als ich noch ein kleines Küken war. Viele Legenden rankten sich um ihre Schönheit und ihre tödliche Skrupellosigkeit. Die Zeit ist auch für sie nicht stillgestanden, aber sie scheint nach wie vor so tödlich zu sein, wie die Legenden behaupten. Inzwischen ist sie die Betreiberin eines Luxusbordells des Svettlers Nile. Zaiwass und Natasha kannten sich. Nicht nur, sie standen sich früher sogar sehr nah. Nicht einmal Zaiwass war in der Lage, die obskure Vergangenheit Natashas vollständig zu erhellen, obwohl sie alle in ihren Einfluss und alle Verbindungen der Angelegenheit in die Waagschale warf. Es berührte sie immens, als Natasha sie wie eine Tochter liebte. Es berührte sie immens, als Natasha, die sie wie eine Tochter liebte, das Nile für Ibis Westler verließ. Ey, ich bin ehrlich, keine Ahnung. Keine Ahnung. Was so da die Antwort sein soll. Ich muss jetzt wieder schauen. Es tut mir leid, aber ich check nicht die Zusammenhang. Okay. Ja. Ja, finally, ich hab's geschafft. Oh, dieses Rätsel war ja schrecklich.
she is a legendary ex-spy.
Mhm.
Well, this is something I've never understood. Why isn't a key good enough? I mean, you can take that with you, but riddles can be solved by anyone.
I don't think many animals get to be in this room, Marty. And the other thing is...
Maybe she wanted us to find it.
exactly what I'm thinking.
Deswegen ist sie
knows?
gegangen mit Absicht.
Anyway, we're going in.
Oh, mal schauen, was da drin ist. Aber das passiert erst in der nächsten Folge. Ich bedanke mich fürs Zuschauen. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao.